Jordan Anthony watches it go into the end zone out of bounds. It'll be 1st and 10 for quarterback Taylon Green from his own 25-yard line. He was white hot last week passing the football. He was 23 of 29, 5 touchdown passes against just 1 interception. Oh, and by the way, he ran for 79 yards as well.
This guy is a big athletic quarterback, listed at 6'6". There was some debate about whether or not that was true. He might be 6'8".
Easily.
As you said, he is gaining confidence on a week-in, week-out basis. Last 3 games, over 70% completion percentage.
They're going to go empty formation on 1st and 10. 10 pulls and completes the pass out to Jordan Anthony, and Anthony picks up a 1st down for the Razorbacks. Anthony had a touchdown reception last week, his only catch, going for 17 yards. This one goes for 18. They move the sticks. Out to the 43-yard line, Andrew Armstrong, number 2, is split wide to the bottom of your screen. He's their leading receiver. They're going to hand it off to Dubinion. Tries to move the pile a little bit, gains maybe 2 yards on the play. Interesting to note that Jaquindon Jackson is not available today because of an injury. How does that impact the Razorbacks?
Well, depth at the running back position certainly is impacted. He has such a great knowledge of the offense that you take a step back from that standpoint. But Braylon Russell, the freshman, had 175 yards rushing in his place last week.
Oz goes in motion. They run it back to the right side of that offensive line. Dubinion again falls down forward to about the 49-yard line, picked up 4, makes it a 3rd down. Here's a look at what Russell looked like in pregame. Russell had that long run last week in that win against Mississippi State, and he is slapped together pretty well.
That's a true freshman. Like, come on, man.
He's grown.
He is a grown man, but these are situations we got to protect Taylon Green.
On 3rd and 4, Green, he can hurt you with his legs, has 1 man to beat. There's a flag down in the backfield, pass complete for the 1st down at the 42 to Armstrong. Let's see if this pass and catch stands, though. Flag back at the 44.
Holding, offense number 72, 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
That's going to go against Joshua Braun. So they'll play it again, 3rd down coming up.
It's going to come against Walter Nolan, who's going to loop all the way around. But as he comes around, you get that grab on the right shoulder pad and pull down.
These officials see everything.
Okay, man, that's why you got.
It was a brief moment.
We got a bunch of them on the field. Yep.
Braylon Russell in the backfield now on 3rd down and 14. Green under duress and falls forward. He's going to be sacked back at the 35. Remember, this Rebels defense had 10 sacks last week. There's their 1st, a loss of 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, there's going to be pressure up the middle, and once again, it's big number 2, Walter Nolan, who causes it.
For Arkansas,
he gets pushed into the backfield,
14
and
is 46.
He doesn't actually get the sack. Maybe they'll give him credit for it, but he pushes the offensive line right into the lap of Taylon Green. And they talked about how important the middle of that offensive line is to Green's success, keeping that clean. But Walter Nolan has been super impactful in the 1st drive so far.
Devin Bale into punt. Averaging almost 49 yards per on the season. Micah Davis is back at his own 20-yard line to receive this punt. A low spiraling punt, returnable by Micah Davis. Made a nice move and picked up about 7 yards on the punt return after that 48-yard boot. And that brings out Jackson Dart at quarterback, the starting quarterback, completing almost, well, a little over 70% of his passes on the season. Has 15 touchdown tosses against 3 interceptions. 1 more win, and he will become the winningest quarterback in school history.
He's been such a leader. His toughness is something that this Ole Miss team thrives on. His ability to run this up-tempo offense is going to be on full display here today.
And interesting, Roddy, no Trey Harris at wide receiver on 1st down. Watkins in motion to the bottom of your screen. Dart to the wide side of the field. Pass caught at the 36. Juice Wells still on his feet. And all the way out to the 48-yard line. Jackson Dart threw one right here for 24 yards, Roddy.
Well, Juice Wells, just physical at the top of the route, sort of nudges Jaheim Singletary by, comes back and makes the catch.
Right in motion, the big tight end. He catches the pass, and he is a behemoth. Tough to bring down. Singletary does. Daquan Wright goes 255 pounds. Those tight ends have figured prominently in the absence of Trey Harris. Picked up 4. Dart down the sidelines. Incomplete, and that's a flag. Wright was the intended receiver working against Singletary.
Pass interference, defense number 15. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Includes an automatic first down.
You can see he gets handsy with the tight end who's split out at receiver. Tugs on the back of that jersey. When the officials see that, the flag's going to come out. But it's the second shot that they've taken at Jaheim Singletary, and the one underneath pass, they threw it to that side. You wonder, had they seen something? As Singletary sits down after the first couple plays.
There's no play on the ball as well. On first down, Dart eludes a tackler and falls forward to the 30-yard line. Picks up 4 on the play. Jackson Dart last week ran 8 times for 24 yards. Transfer from USC back up at the line of scrimmage. This offense will move with brevity. They keep it between the tackles. That's Henry Parrish Jr. An offense, Roddy, that only averages 3.4 yards per carry. How problematic is that, if at all?
It is. Without Trey Harris, it certainly is more problematic. But here on 3rd and shorts, Ole Miss is typically a very good 3rd down run offense. Has not been quite as good this year.
Wells in motion. Dart's going to keep it himself on a predetermined quarterback run. Good enough, more than good enough, for the first down inside the 20 at the 19. An 8-yard gain for Jackson Dart, right back to the line of scrimmage. Out of the backfield, complete to Parrish. Looking for a block on the edge. He's going to be pushed out of bounds for a gain of about 3 on the play.
Fans were a little upset. It looked like Caden Lee had a bit of a grab on Danico Slaughter.
From the 16, 2nd and 7. Still no Trey Harris. Dart on another predetermined quarterback run. Three-yard gain on the play. 3rd down and 4. Well split to the bottom of your screen. Parrish in the backfield. Now he motions out into the end zone. Wells, touchdown. We have a flag down on the play, though, and it's going to come back. He was working against Marquise Robinson.
Pass interference, offense number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Includes 3rd down.
It was tough to see it on that replay, but Juice Wells does grab Marquise Robinson and sling him by. That's where the flag comes out. But Juice Wells was phenomenal at South Carolina 2 years ago. Banged up last year and hadn't really emerged, but it looks like he's taking over that Trey Harris role this week. They're going to need him on plays like this, 3rd and long.
$19 to go. Parrish motions out of the backfield, and they're going to blow this one dead.
Offside. Defense number 40 unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
That's Landon Jackson, one of their best pass rushers up front. Last year received a mid-round NFL evaluation, decided to come back to school. 3rd and 14 now. Parrish in the backfield. Dart complete. Wells at the 10. Falls forward. It's going to be a little bit short of that first down. Jackson and Johnson making the tackle. The offense still in the field. Tempo offense. They're going to go for it. Parrish will pick up the first down and then some. It'll be 1st and goal.
What a play by Juice Wells, though, on that 3rd down catch. Makes the guy miss, dives up the field. Lane Kiffin loves it. He's as aggressive as anybody on these 4th downs, and they get it.
Parrish again. Down inside the 5 to the 4. Robinson making the tackle. The corner coming up in run support. A 3-yard gain.
One of the things about this tempo is this Arkansas defense has not had a chance to substitute. These guys, hands on hips, they gotta be tired.
11th play of the drive. Parrish stuffed right at the 5-yard line by Cameron Ball. Been playing some inspired football the last several weeks.
And another 3rd down, another opportunity for this Arkansas defense to try and get off the field. Finally, they get a chance to sub, get some reinforcements in there.
13th play of the drive. Dart under heat. Complete, but short of the end zone. Big time hit by Jaden Johnson on Wright, who made the catch. And when you hit a 255-pound tight end,
feels a catch short of the goal line. 4th down.
Take another look.
Ole Miss looks like they're going to go for it again, but the key here, where's the ball when that foot hits the pylon? Looks like it's not in the end zone.
Dart hands it off, and he's going to be stuffed. Bentley won't make it. And the Razorback defense responds. The defense impregnable and impervious on this opening drive when it counted most. Here's a look at Rebel quarterback Jackson Dart. He is incensed, irate, mad, big mad after his team getting stuffed at the goal line on 4th down. Razorbacks take over, 1st and 10. Green hands it off. Nolan right there to make the tackle on Braylon Russell. Let's take another look at that big play defensively.
It's just a nice job of Danico Slaughter shooting into the backfield and being able to stop the momentum of the running back. This Ole Miss running back crew is not a big crew. Lane Kiffin not excited or frustrated by the fact that he didn't get the timeout granted, but he was doing it from the 25. There wasn't a lot of urgency there.
2nd down, Taylon Green. Wisely throws it over the head of his intended receiver. J.J. Pegues with good pressure there.
Incomplete pass. Number 6 was in the area. 3rd down.
Catania was in the area.
This is a dangerous situation for Arkansas. They tried to run the ball. You got penetration by Walter Nolan, almost a safety. Tried to throw the ball, pressure. They've already had one holding call. Holding call in the end zone is a safety. They got to watch out here.
Line of scrimmage play going to be paramount. They come with some pressure. Green sacked, fumbled. It's loose. Rebels still loose. Jared Ivey was there. Touchdown. A fumble, scoop, and score. Jared Ivey.
Fumble recovered by the defense. Touchdown.
An egregious error in the end zone, costing Arkansas.
It's going to come right at you. TJ Daugherty comes around the corner. There's poor ball security by Taylon Green, and then Jared Ivey has a shot at it. It's still out. Santarin Perkins has a shot at it. I don't know who ends up coming up with it, but it's called an Ole Miss touchdown. I don't know who with Ole Miss ended up recovering it. But as I said, Arkansas had flirted with disaster the 2 plays previous.
Line of scrimmage play, as we underscored a moment ago, going to be very paramount here today. It's the Louis Vuitton defensive line of the Rebels against the Walmart offensive line of Arkansas. We'll see who wins that battle ultimately. The early edge going to the University of Mississippi. Up 7-0. So they find defensive usage. We'll talk about that in just a moment here. Arkansas will start off 1st and 10 from its own 25. Let's check in with Matt Berry back in the studio. Matt, what's up?
Jonesy, good afternoon. Happy College Football Saturday. Fairfield by Marriott Studio update. You know it's Miami's year when something like this happens. Cam Ward looks like he's going to get sacked about 4 times. Finds his way out of it. Throws it deep. The intended receiver has the ball tipped away to Xavier Restrepo. Right place, right time. 7-0 Hurricanes in the Manny Diaz Revenge Bowl.
Manny's dad, the former mayor of city of Miami. I think he still has friends in high places. 1st and 10. Green comes back with a completion to Armstrong. Nice catch and run out near midfield at about the 47-yard line. Prior to the game, we had a chance to chat with Coach Pittman.
We don't have the money that a lot of the schools do. Now we're getting ready to get it in revenue sharing. We don't have the money, so we went blue line special a little bit with our old line, and from what I understand, they went Louis Vuitton over there.
Hey man, sometimes the blue light specials get it done. Sometimes you want to dress it up a little bit and go LV, you know. Yeah. Louis.
False start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
And look, what he's referring to, that the defensive line for Ole Miss, guys like Walter Nolan transferring over from Texas A&M. Prince Luamamielen was Florida's leading sacker from a year ago. He's now on this team at Ole Miss. The guys that he went and got, San Jose State, Tennessee.
They're not hurting your pockets quite as much. Green hurting the defense on that nice sprint up the middle.
So it's going to be interesting to see this offensive line and how they block that incredibly talented defensive front. We've seen it a couple of times. They've struggled. They've struggled back deep in their own territory, but Talon Green's legs in the run game can really help even that out by holding one of those defenders without blocking them.
A quick look at Ramon Manelli. A moment ago, 2nd down and 1. Green keeps it. Still on his feet all the way down. The ball comes loose again. He might have been down. And Green is hurt. Green is slow to get up.
Ruling on the field as the runner was down prior to losing possession. Timeout.
14-yard gain. He was down prior to the fumble. But looking at that stark image on your screen right now, we're guessing that Malachi Singleton might be taking the next snap for this Razorback offense. Welcome back, everyone, to Fayetteville. Here's how quarterback Talon Green was shaken up a moment ago. Right there, his left leg getting twisted up underneath Xavier Harris, who made the tackle on him. And right now we have Malachi Singleton at quarterback. The last time we saw Singleton, he came in for Green in relief in that upset of Tennessee and did a very poised job of leading them to victory. Right?
He did. He kept it on the tracks, and then when they needed a drive to go win it, he got them down close enough where Tennessee was forced to let them score, let Malachi Singleton score. He brings the running aspect that Talon Green does. The question is, can he throw the ball enough to threaten this Ole Miss defense?
Singleton hands it off, nowhere to go this time for DeBinion. Set up 3rd down and very long to go on the loss of 6. Roddy, in the big picture, how big a piece is Green offensively? They need to get points against this high-scoring Rebel squad.
It's huge. It's one of the best defensive lines and defenses in the country, and if you're one-dimensional, just being able to run the football, then they can just tee off with that and devote extra bodies to it. Talon Green completed over 70% of his passes the last 3 games. Can Malachi Singleton do that?
Singleton under pressure on the screen, gets it off to DeBinion, and nowhere to go for him. Brought down immediately by Chris Paul Jr. for a 1-yard gain, and it's 4th down on the fringes of field goal range. Singleton staying on the field.
So it's going to be a screen pass, and Dubinion kind of slips. Pause it right here, guys. This is going to be a block that's well executed, and if he goes outside, he may get the first down. But he slips, tries to go inside the block, and gets tackled for a minimal gain. I mean, that was a great play call by Bobby Petrino and well executed.
Matthew Shipley comes in this field goal from 55 yards out. His career long is 51. From the left hash, gets it up in the air. Got it! He gave it a ride. Those points feel extremely larger than the actual 3 they get for it, Roddy.
Your quarterback goes down, and it feels like all is lost in some ways. You're trying to just steady the ship. You have a negative play, get in field goal range just barely, and Sam Pittman relieved to get points on the board.
A career-long 55-yarder for Matthew Shipley with 3:19 to go in the opening quarter. Folks, here's our Week 10 SEC Network football lineup. It begins today at 12:45 Eastern with Vandy and Auburn. Oklahoma hosts Maine on SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. Then at 4:15, Mississippi State hosts UMass. And we cap the night with the 112th border battle between Kentucky and number 7 Tennessee at 7:45. Each game is also available on the ESPN app. You can watch the game anywhere. Tennessee has a border battle with a lot of different teams because it borders like
a lot of states. And all of them have schools in the SEC.
How about that?
Like.
So Arkansas cashes out with a career-long 55-yarder by Matthew Shipley, but hanging in the balance right now, the health and fitness of their starting quarterback, Taylon Green. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25. Let's check in with the studio.
All right, Jonesy, Ohio State is in a hole. First possession, Penn State gets the field goal, then Will Howard pick 6 by Zion Tracy, and Happy Valley got loud. 10-0 Nittany Lions. Plus, after a Duke turnover, Cam McCormick catches it from Cam Ward. 14-0 Hurricanes early in the first quarter.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Henry Parrish in the backfield. Rebels' only touchdown has come on a scoop and score in the end zone on a fumble. They are working the middle of the field with Daquan Wright, the tight end, much like they did last week. Larry Worth III making the tackle, but a 1st and 10. 16-yard gain.
They ran that little tight end delay about as many times, as many different ways as you could a week ago. They're a fake pitch, and Daquan Wright sneaks up the seam.
Jackson Dart is 6 for 6 for 64 yards so far. Play clock at 12. There's a look at Taylon Green out of the tent. Got a flag down on the play.
Ball start. Offense number 52. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Green trying to jog on the sidelines. Q, what do you see?
Taylon Green is back out of the medical tent. He's got both ankles taped. He's now jogging very casually. He's actually got his hand on his behind his right knee as if he may have suffered a hyperextension as well. But originally I thought it was an ankle. Not sure what it is. He's not looking very good right now though, Mark.
Mobility a big part of his game. Jackson Dart showing mobility there. Into traffic, incomplete. Intended for the tight end. Daquan Wright, pardon me, Caden Lee, number 19. TJ Metcalf there in defense. That's his first incompletion of the game.
And Taylon Green was trying to warm it up on the sideline, trying to get the approval of the training staff. Either way, if his legs are hindered when he comes back, how much and how effective will he be if he has to run and if they need him to run, both in the quarterback run game and the scramble game.
2nd and 15. And another flag down in the field.
Disconcerting signals. Number 17 of the defense was clapping. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Oh, man. So
disconcerting. You don't see that one every Saturday, right?
Especially not from a corner. Well, defenses are trained, hey, you can't clap, but clapping is sort of a natural reaction when you're trying to get someone's attention. Hudson Clark's a corner trying to get somebody's attention. He's clapping and gets flagged. I don't love that the offense has a monopoly on claps, but so many of them use clapping as part of their signals that I understand why it's a rule.
2nd and 10. Out of the backfield, complete. Parrish makes the catch. A spirited run is going to come up 3 yards shy for the first down. You know, a big part of Talon Green's DNA, you see it there, Philippians. Looks like 4'8". He was talking about Philippians 4'13" a little bit earlier. And that is going to be short of the first down. A man that is steeped in his faith with his family. Regularly.
Looks like Ole Miss is going to go for it again. J.J. Pegues, the big defensive tackle and short yardage back in the ball game. Arkansas matches with a sub of their own. Will this just be power football to the big fella here?
He is the jumbo package. The singular behemoth force in the backfield. Does it again. Gets the first down. Giving you flashbacks of the fridge.
I'm just always impressed. Watch this cut behind the line of scrimmage.
Too, Roddy.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
catch.
he's got hands.
Snap was a little bit off and high.
Oh, look, that is, if you were to design the male figure in a lab, it's going to look like J.J. Pegues.
First down and 10. They move the chains down to the 48. Dart taking a shot on the post. A flag down. Incomplete. There's a little bumping going on with T.J. Metcalf and Jordan Watkins. That's the 6th penalty of the game.
Pass interference. Defense number 18. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Includes an automatic first down.
You get a big tug on the jersey of Jordan Watkins. But I'll tell you what, up front, Ole Miss has had a really tough time blocking Landon Jackson. He has been an absolute terror with very little to show for it so far other than making Jackson Dart move around in the pocket.
Parrish motions a high snap. Dart recovers it, and it's incomplete. So the Rebels implode on that play intended for Jordan Watkins. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with 34 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
Could have been catastrophic. Good poise by Jackson Dart as you see Reese McIntyre, the center, tapping his chest saying that was me. And on the back part of that play, you know who was there to give Jackson Dart a hey, how you doing?
Who's that?
It was Landon Jackson.
Watkins out to the top of your screen. Dart comes back to the other side of the field. Incomplete. No flag intended for Juice Wells. Marquise Robinson there in defense. They've thrown at him several times today.
This was, check this out. Lane Kiffin catches that football and then in frustration, disgust, slings it down the field. Another 3rd down for his offense, though.
Nice tight spiral, Coach.
It was a tight spiral. Nice scowl, too.
3rd and 10. Jackson jumping off sides. Pass complete to the tight end right. With the right moves inside the 10.
Offside. Defense number 40 was in the neutral zone at the snap. The penalty has declined. The result of the play is a first down.
On the edge of your screen, Landon Jackson clearly across. It's the 2nd time he's jumped, and then the defense kind of felt like, it looked like they felt like the play was going to be blown dead, but he wasn't unabated to the quarterback, so he let the play out, and they give up a big pass play down the field.
1st and goal. They were inside the red zone last time and were unable to score on 4th and short. Dart on the predetermined quarterback run, nowhere to go. He's going to lose a yard. Sorey Jr. making the tackle on the play. Had a big week last week in their win against Mississippi State, an interception, 11 tackles, and that's going to do it for the first 15 minutes of play.
The first quarter.
On the first, you're watching college football presented by Tyson Brand. This is the SEC on ESPN here at Reynolds Stadium. A moment ago, Lane Kiffin, in disgust, throws the football down the sideline to who was he throwing to? Well, another official who was coming in a little bit high and hot, Roddy. I'll give him a break on that.
I feel judge like it hit your hands. You gotta come down with that.
Started the second quarter. Dart gets it out to the tight end right. Eluded one tackler down to the 4-yard line. Davaye making the tackle on the 7-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Remember, Rebels went for it last time. Curious if we'll see Talon Green the next offensive series for Arkansas. Wide open, room service right. They made that one look extremely easy. Wonderful design. We have a flag down on the play.
Result of play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 8. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That is number 8's first unsportsmanlike for the game. The try will be from the 3.
Let's bring in our rules analyst, Matt Austin. Tell us about this penalty, Matt.
Well, it falls under the taunting / unsportsmanlike conduct acts. I mean, they're letting you do a lot more things with the ball. You can spin it, you can toss it to the ground, but throwing it that high into the air is calling attention to yourself. That's going to draw a flag every time. Oh boy.
Thanks, Matt.
Cannot throw a ball to the moon. I'll mark that one down.
I guess it went too high, Rod.
Look, I don't know what
he went over the height limit.
I don't know what the height limit is, but he did go over it. That thing was almost out of the stadium. He threw it so high. And this is a big Jared Ivey who is on.
Previously, or Malachi Singleton, who took the snaps on the last drive. Jordan Anthony is back for the kick. Anthony perched at his own 13-yard line. After the unsportsmanlike penalty, they'll kick off from the 20. Fair catch called. Let's check in back with the studio. Matt Berry, what's good?
You know what, Jonesy? I've got your AT&T multi-view. It's keeping fans connected, as well as Jonesy and Roddy in the booth. Duke and Miami. Right now, Duke on the board 14-7. ABC, UTSA up on Memphis at the moment. Auburn and Vanderbilt just kicked off on SEC Network. And NC State having a good start against Stanford.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Talon Green back at quarterback for the Arkansas Razorbacks, the Boise State transfer.
Had a lot of time on the sideline since he was last out there to work on him. Both ankles taped, looks like a knee sleeve on as well.
1st and 10. Green sacked. That pocket just collapsed on him. Harris got the sack. That's the 3rd one of the afternoon for the Rebels. Here's how Green was injured a little bit earlier on this run, picking up a 1st down, then got that left leg twisted up underneath on the tackle. Ball came loose. It wasn't ruled a fumble, but he limped to the sidelines. Singleton came in on the next series. And Roddy, he didn't move that well in the pocket that time. He hands it off on this down and nowhere to go for Braylon Russell. Daughtery making the tackle. And it's quickly 3rd and long on the loss of 5. So the Louis Vuitton defensive line having the edge on the blue light special offensive line.
The biggest fear for Arkansas was that you weren't going to be able to block Ole Miss's defensive front, and it's come true.
Yeah.
And then you flip to the defensive side, and they haven't really stopped Ole Miss either. I mean, now you're 3rd and forever.
To Binion in at tailback now. Green got it away complete. Satania with his first reception of the afternoon. A pickup of 5, but way too short of the 1st down, and a quick 3 and out for the Razorbacks. They've been penalized more yards than they picked up offensively, and Bobby Petrino trying to find the right button to press between himself and his quarterback. Petrino was instrumental in recruiting him out of the portal from Boise State. Taylor Green telling us yesterday in our meetings with him that Petrino called him at 7 a.m. the day after he entered the transfer portal, and then made an ensuing trip up to Boise, Idaho to visit with him. Green from the Dallas area, playing much closer to home now.
Delay game. Kicking. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Update that graphic on penalty yardage.
Yeah.
Another 5 yards.
Number
Frustrating
14 for Arkansas
on
is
the
now
punt.
46.
Either way, Rebels offense is going to have good field position after this punt. Bale punting from his own 3. Davis watches it bounce. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Well, it's almost time for the first college football playoff rankings release. Folks, Tuesday, November 5th on ESPN, we have the college football playoff top 25 show presented by Allstate as we get ready for the release. Roddy, what are your predictions for the college football rankings?
So this is how I think it's going to play out by the end of the year. And the big difference that I have and what you'll see now is the conference champions. I think Clemson beats Miami in a conference championship, so they end up at the 3 seed.
Okay.
I think Kansas State's the best team in the Big 12 right now, and a rematch against BYU potentially would put them at the 4 seed. And then you get chaos after that. I think BYU would still get in. Miami still gets in despite losing in their championships games. They would square off in the 10-7 matchup. Texas A&M has built a pretty good resume, even if they lose to Texas at the end of the year. I think both of those teams get in. And Notre Dame, despite having the worst loss in the country at home to Northern Illinois, if they're 11-1, then they certainly get in as well. But that leaves out, it makes really tough decisions with teams like Tennessee, who could be a 2-loss team at the end of the year. This Ole Miss team potentially could be a 2-loss team. They're able to win today and then next week against Georgia, so it's going to be really tough.
Fans, don't forget to go to ESPN.com/Allstate Playoff Predictor to check out your team's chances to make the college football playoff. Dart, downfield, one-on-one coverage, caught, run, score, touchdown Watkins. Did his little thriller dance afterwards, and he gave some thrills to his teammates and coaches. 62 yards in all for Jordan Watkins.
They have tried to pick on these Arkansas corners all day long, and Marquise Robinson just not in good enough position to make a play when he turns around. How about that?
Yeah, that's a thrill. Hey man, he moonwalked all over the DBs there. It's 21-3. Yeah, he's very obedient. Right at my feet.
What would you dress them up as? That's the big question.
My color analyst.
There you go.
handsome dog. Let's take a look at the defensive pressure that has been a big part of the game.
It's been consistent. That J.J. Pegues getting into the backfield. Walter Nolan has been an absolute terror. The pressure up the middle has been there. That T.J. Dottery coming off the corner to create the strip sack, which ended up being a touchdown. But this Arkansas offensive line has had a really tough time keeping Taylor Green clean in the pocket. And the question is, how well does he move with that leg injury from earlier?
Dubinion in the backfield. In the pistol, hands it off to Dubinion over the right side of the offensive line, and stopped up at about the 26 by Chris Paul Jr. Again, let's go down to Q and a little puppy love. What's up there?
Yeah, Mark, just to finish up on that puppy parade at one of the local sororities, our guy B-Mac doing yeoman's-like work, filming that segment. But the hard part is to get the dogs actually in their costume. My dog Millie refused to wear the Batman costume. We had to put her in angel wings, and she got 3rd place in our local contest.
3rd, okay. Got on the podium. Green under pressure again. Ivy again in pursuit and brings him down for a loss of about a yard on the play. And Ivy favoring that right knee. He had some company with Perkins as well, who had 4 sacks last week.
Jared Ivey's going to come from this left side and right up the middle. He's going to be able to get pressure. It's been constant, and it's been the twists and the stunts that have flummoxed this offensive line, but it's also just been straight up rushes like the ones you'll see here.
3rd and 7. Green with a little bit of time, incomplete at the 37, intended for Broden, and it was broken up nicely by Amos. So another quick 3 and out for the Razorbacks offensively. With the Rebels in control here in the second quarter, 21-3. And boy, Bobby Petrino, who is the quarterback whisperer of all time, looking for some solutions, and the evolution of communication between those two has really come a long way from week 1 to where it is now. But it's going to have to take an exponential leap in this game the way things are going.
And they're going to have to rely on that defense to get some stops as well.
Punt bounces at about the 29, and then it'll be fielded at the 32, 1st and 10 from there after the 40-yard punt. Now let's take a look at today's road test, brought to you by Goodyear. Tough times here in Fayetteville for the Rebels. They've lost their last 5 games here. This is the 71st meeting overall between these two teams, and Arkansas won a couple of years ago, 42-27. And you'd have to go back to 08 to find the last time that University of Mississippi won here. 1st down and 10 from the 32. Ulysses Bentley the 4th. If you're running back and your surname is Bentley, you know you can ball, right?
Yeah, you have to be able to, I feel like.
Out of Houston, Texas. Another one of those portal players out of SMU. Gets the call here. Never got out of first gear. Stopped up by Sori Jr. It'll be 2nd down and about 9 to go.
Interesting switch on this drive by Travis Williams, Arkansas's defensive coordinator, going with a 3-down look with 3 safeties. It's the defense they played against Tennessee in that upset win here.
Dart has thrown touchdown passes on his last 2 passes. 2nd and 8. Downfield again, got a man behind the secondary, caught. Touchdown, Watkins again. His last 3 passes have been for touchdowns. He cribs another one. That one going for 66.
They get Jordan Watkins on the safety. Jaden Johnson just runs right by him. So great delivery by Jackson Dart. And then Watkins finishes it in the end zone.
Great look from the pylon cam. Got into the end zone with room to spare. And the lead ballooning to 24 points. Had a chance to ask him a little bit earlier this week in our meetings with him. I like to ask players, you know, when you hit play on your playlist on your phone right now, what song comes up? Folks, you'll never guess what Jordan Watkins told us. Milli Vanilli, which I'm told by our guy Q is a big TikTok comeback song right now.
Yeah, Q, big TikTok guy.
He's all over it. It's like Watkins was all over them DBs. 10:07 to go, and this one feels like it's getting away from Arkansas. 28-3 for the Rebels. Got a flag down on the extra point. Remember how upset Jackson Dart was when his team didn't make on 4th and goal?
Yeah.
Holding, kicking team number 51. 10-yard penalty, repeat the try.
They're going to repeat the try. Well, the look etched on his countenance right now has totally transformed to something different. Very pleased with his teammates and the play calling, and of course the result.
He's played great early in this game. He hasn't needed to do it with his legs a lot, but did have a big conversion. And then that guy, Jordan Watkins, a guy who told us he's from Louisville, Kentucky, went to Louisville initially. When he decided to transfer, he said, look, I'm a big mama's boy.
Yeah.
My mama tried to talk me out of transfer.
He came clean.
Mississippi, he did. Mama's got to be proud of him here.
Paula Baker watching at home. Loving what she's seeing right now. Extra point good again. When we had a chance to have ESPN Deportes with Peyton and Eli once again on ESPN2. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Razorbacks from their own 25-yard line. How do they get some semblance of momentum here? The easiest formula. What is it?
I mean, I would love to say block up front, but that's easier said than done.
Okay.
I think you obviously need something good to happen, a chunk play if you can. So maybe you're just at the point where you try and find a matchup, take a shot down the field to see if you can get a completion to an Andrew Armstrong.
Well, the last 3 completions have all gone for touchdowns for Jackson Dart. Green has thrown 3 incompletions. You saw it on the graphic a moment ago. 1st and 10. Green with the waggle action. Pass complete to the tight end. Luke Haas, out of Bixby, Oklahoma. Pushed out of bounds by Trey Washington. Picked up 9 yards on the play. Under 10 minutes to go in the opening half. Arkansas looking to become bowl eligible with a potential win here today. And their 6th victory. It would be their 4th bowl eligibility season in the last 5 years. But tough sledding ahead. 2nd down and 1. Green going to try and do it himself and falls down behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard, and he isn't moving well.
He's trying to gut it out, and I think in a straight line you are probably okay. But it's when you try and make those sharp cuts that there's certain angles that your leg is going to have to apply pressure to the ground that probably bothers him a little bit. But
3rd down and 2 coming up. Hands it off, and they're going to pick up the 1st down. A spirited run by Rashad Dubinion. And they move the chains. Under 9 minutes to go. There's a look at the menu coming up for Arkansas, and the one that they've been through already.
And the Oklahoma State game is the one that stands out. Ranked at the time, but obviously Oklahoma State is not proven to be that team. The rest of the schedule, this team's pretty darn good.
That 6th win is not going to come easily. Green pulls complete. Armstrong finally brought down to the 20-yard line. And the biggest play of the day for the Razorbacks gives them 1st and 10 in the red zone. A 43-yard pickup.
It's good catch and run by Andrew Armstrong. Really good timing on the delivery by Taylon Green. And then John Saunders, the safety, is going to try and punch it. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Good ball security by Andrew Armstrong down the field.
Satania in motion. Dubinion in the backfield. He gets the call. Broke free once, but hit the 2nd time by Chris Paul Jr., a.k.a. Pooh.
And this is really good on both sides. John Saunders coming in, punches once, tries to get it again. You get the shoulder protecting it. That ball got a little loose towards the end, but it's a really good job by Andrew Armstrong of protecting the football. 5 points of pressure, and then eventually using the shoulder to protect it as well.
2nd down and 11 after the loss of 1. Green surveys, peruses, and pulls. Complete to the tight end. Haas again. Roddy, talk to me about what it looks like in a best case scenario for ball security.
Yeah, so when you're running down the field, you want that ball secured to the body, high and tight. And as you're punching it, once I feel that the first couple times, now I'm going to roll over the football. So you're having to come through my shoulder to get to it. That's what Andrew Armstrong did a great job of.
What if I come up here, though?
Well, I've got it secured tight. you're not getting it because I got that nose of the ball covered.
Man,
so it's not coming out this way, not coming out that way.
You've been working out.
I tried to.
On the handoff.
I was in the gym yesterday.
Hill inside the 10. That's Russell. Arkansas threatening right here on the gain of 5. First and goal now. Goes without saying that a score here would be huge in terms of catalyzing a potential comeback. From the 8. It's Russell. Cut it up inside instead of trying to get to the edge. And found Daughtry there along with Nolan. It'll be second down and goal after the gain of 2.
You said it. A score here would be huge. And if you're Arkansas, looks like Braylon Russell limping a bit. If you're Arkansas, you're thinking, all right, we got to get a touchdown here and a stop. And then you get another touchdown and it gets interesting going in the half.
3 receivers out to the bottom of your screen. Armstrong split wide. They're going to run it. Dubinion, touchdown, Arkansas. Taylen Green and the Razorbacks getting their first touchdown of the afternoon with 5:50 to go in the opening half. Big play to Armstrong put them in position for this touchdown.
It's really good by this offensive line. The pullers coming from the backside. You're going to get a couple of guys, a kick out block here, a wrap up, and then Dubinion's just going to go straight through. Really nicely executed as the offensive line collapses it down. You get those 2 pullers finding their blocks, hat on a hat. Really well executed by Arkansas.
And finally a call to Hogs after the touchdown. 9 plays, 75 yards on the drive, using up 4:17 on the clock. And a little bit of hope now for the Razorbacks with 5:50 to go in the opening half. And what'd you make of Green on that touchdown drive?
Well, the big play was huge to Andrew Armstrong, and there was really good timing on that. He hit his back foot, delivered the football, read it well. It didn't look like he was moving quite as well as he was early in the game, but I thought his poise and delivery during that drive was excellent.
Davis back deep. Calls for the fair catch. And now let's take a look at this week's college football rankings, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Oregon at Michigan, 3:30, just like Georgia, Florida. That big get-together they get every year. That one on ABC. So Penn State trails Ohio State by 4.
How about Duke?
Wow.
Giving Miami a game going down to South Florida. Manny Diaz return. The big question was, how was Duke going to score? That offense had stumbled a little bit, but now you've got a situation here with this crowd getting back into it.
That Hurricane defense has been a little bit porous at times this year.
Yeah.
Under 6 minutes to go. Jackson Dart has thrown 3 touchdown passes in his last 3 passing attempts. He's going to keep it on the ground this time with Parrish. And met with force by Larry Worth and TJ Metcalf. 3-yard gain on the play. Second down and 7 coming up. So far, the quote-unquote lack of a big-time rush game hasn't hurt the Rebels in this one. They came in averaging over 3.4 yards per carry in the bottom third of the SEC. Toss into the boundary. Parrish couldn't turn the corner. Going to set up a 3rd down at about 3 to go.
This is the 3rd time that we've seen Arkansas in person, and every time the offensive coordinator, the head coach for the opposing team, talked about how hard this defense plays for their coordinator, Travis Williams. The thing is, they're going to have to do that not only on plays like this, but down the stretch, as they've given up some massive plays in the pass game today.
Some pressure coming, got it off, caught, complete to Mr. Utility Man, Daquan Wright. Another catch, this one going for 17 yards. He has been profound in his ubiquity all over the field today, having a huge impact. Parrish brought down for a loss of a yard on the play by Sori Jr. We haven't mentioned the fact that Trey Harris hasn't played today.
It's been a Daquan Wright and Juice Wells game until Jordan Watkins showed up with those 2 big touchdowns.
Yeah. And Prescorn's been out too.
And Prescorn hasn't. Yeah, we haven't seen Caden Prescorn. But Daquan Wright had 8 catches coming into this game. He's 7 so far today.
Second and 11, a little blitz coming. Dart got it away. And for the first time in 4 passes, he hasn't thrown a touchdown. What about that? Good pressure up front by Eric Gregory. So it's 3rd down and 11. Let's look at Travis Williams, erstwhile linebacker at Auburn University, defensive coordinator presently for this Razorback squad. We mentioned his defense plays with tremendous effort.
Arkansas did well to stay onside. Ole Miss had gotten them jumping a couple of times on 3rd down so far.
Blitz coming. Dart got it away. Incomplete. They brought some smoke for Jackson Dart. And they force a 4th down and long. So I guess the punting unit would come in or not. It's Lane Kiffin after all.
You got to
keep the offense on the field.
You got to punt this one.
Or not.
Travis Williams, though, it felt like he decided on that drive, hey, look, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down, bringing pressure.
Right. And
effective on that last play.
First punt of the day for the Rebels. Number 33 is in. That one caroms out to the back of the end zone. It'll be 1st down coming back the other way for the Razorbacks. Hey, there's the Taco Bell Live Más student section. Folks, all season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. That's what she's doing right now.
Yeah, she's trying to download the Taco Bell app, or she's trying to order the thing that we have smelled and seen the most here, which is bacon.
Hey man, the pig never did anything to me, man. I'll eat me some pork. 1st and 10. Right now it's that Arkansas defense getting cooked, though. They trail 28-10. Green has time, almost picked off at the 40-yard line. Chris Paul Jr. Talk about making an impact all over the field, sideline to sideline. The Arkansas transfer still has friends on the other side of the field, and there's one of them.
Tusk, I'm sure, happy to welcome Pooh Paul back, although happy to see the former Arkansas linebacker drop that interception.
Green, you would think that he would get down safely, which he does. They spotted at the 33. That's going to be enough for a 1st down. Pickup of 12 yards on the play.
It just opens up. I mean, you're going to see a massive hole on the right side of your screen, and then Taylon Green right through there. He will take that 10 times out of 10. Everybody drop back in coverage, and he's able to get a nice game.
Green has a man complete to the tight end, Haas, and another 1st down on the University of Mississippi side of midfield. Moore making the tackle.
And Arkansas and Taylon Green starting to find a little bit more momentum offensively. Taylon Green looking more in rhythm, with the exception of the should-have-been interception 2 plays ago. But Bobby Petrino has found something, and this offensive line has not allowed pressure the last couple of drives.
Got their full 3 timeouts remaining. Into traffic for Armstrong, and they had some bracket coverage on him. They were all over him like the plastic on your grandma's couch, man. He had nowhere to go.
And it was the plastic on grandma's couch is always sticky when you sit on it. You kind of peel yourself off. That's how that coverage was. Stuck all over Andrew Armstrong.
It only came off when company came over. Yeah. 2nd and 10. Armstrong had that big catch on that last touchdown drive. On the screen pass, complete to Dubinion. Got a blocker out in front and put his hat down and lowered the boom. Another first down for the Hogs.
They had this play earlier on a 3rd down, and Dubinion cut inside. This time he cuts outside, and it's going to take us down to the 2-minute timeout. But Arkansas, a little bit of momentum now. It doesn't feel like in the stadium they're down 18.
All right, thanks a lot. Back here, Taylon Green has completed 5 of his last 7 passes. 1st and 10 from the 34. Green. Wow, Haas hung on to it. Pardon me, Tesla hung on to it, and he took a knock.
You know who that reminded me of? Reminded me of those old Patriots slot receivers. Tough window, took a hit when you catch the ball like a Welker or Julian Edelman. Like that sort of toughness that you see. Gotta love that.
1st and 10. There's the backside pressure, a sack on the play. Uman Manellen and Green.
Arkansas has called timeout, their first of the half.
Comes up hobbling.
30 seconds in length. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 38 seconds.
I mean, Princely Uman Manellen just runs right by Fernando Carmona, the left tackle. Taylon Green coming up limping.
Uman Manellen had 2 sacks last week for the Rebels. They totaled 10 in that victory against the Sooners. That's the 4th one for their defense today.
And in SEC plays, you see Taylon Green trying to run it off a little bit. In SEC play, the only team that Ole Miss couldn't get sacks against was LSU, and they had pressure on Garrett Nussmeier. That excellent LSU offensive line did a nice job at least containing where that pressure came from. But everybody else, 10 sacks against Oklahoma, 6 against South Carolina, 5 against Kentucky. They get after the quarterback against everybody.
Have to have a quarterback that can move around a little bit. Taylon Green, a former high school hooper. Pass complete. Tesla again. Down to the 22-yard line. Green did tell us that he likes to play on the edges when he's hooping. Doesn't like to get down on the block too much.
It's like you.
6'8", yeah. Hey. Leave that other stuff for the big guys, man. I'll take my threes out there outside and deliver from deep, just like Green's trying to do right now. 3rd and 9. Green sacked and a flag down. Green down at the 28. Perkins, which might be the 5th sack of the afternoon for the Rebels.
Every time Taylon Green takes a sack, I mean, he's getting up, limping around, trying to grit it out.
See what this flag is all about.
Holding, offense number 55. The penalty is declined. Result of play, 3rd down.
It's going to be right here is where that penalty is going to come.
Ole Miss has called timeout.
Just slings him down as Uman Manellen was working that spin move back to the inside.
Carmona, the transfer from the San Jose State Spartans. 4th and 14 coming up. 1:23 to go in the opening half. Time now for today's weekend lineup, brought to you by Wendy's Saucy Nugs. A lot of sauce on that screen right now.
A lot of sauce on that screen. A Clemson-Louisville game tonight, and Texas A&M going to South Carolina. Those are interesting games where Louisville scored a ton against Miami. I think that Clemson defense better than what you saw from the Hurricanes. But Texas A&M on the road at Williams-Brice. Marcel Reed likely to start at quarterback. They have that comeback win a week ago.
What a bounce back for them since the start of the season, right? The opening game loss. Matthew Shipley is going to attempt this field goal from 45. He made one earlier from 55, which is a career long. This one from 45. And he missed it, pushed it off to the left with 1:18 to go in the first half. Here on the first Saturday in November. We take a little bit of inventory. Here's what it looks like in the ACC. 4 undefeateds. The Big 12, BYU, Iowa State. What's the most surprising thing to you?
It's got to be Indiana undefeated, BYU undefeated, SMU undefeated, Texas A&M undefeated. There's one in every conference where if you'd have predicted it preseason, people might have checked you for your mental stability.
Right.
Exactly. I think that the way it's coming down, there's so many undefeated and one-loss teams that we're going to get some craziness when it comes to these final college football playoff rankings.
Tiebreakers are going to be really interesting when you don't actually play head-to-head against an opponent in your conference. That pass complete to Caden Lee, native of Kennesaw, Georgia. 18-yard pickup on the play. First and 10 from the 45. Dart throws a rope complete for about a 9-yard gain to Caden Lee again. Rebels have 2 timeouts remaining. At the very least, they're perhaps thinking about putting another field goal on the board. 2nd and 1. Dart is going to do the self-checkout line, and somebody lost their hat. It was Dart. So he will have to come out for a play.
Really on the field is a first down. Timeout. Number 2 lost his helmet. The game for 1 play.
So we have a timeout on the field. Thought we heard a timeout.
I think it was a timeout to allow Jackson Dart to get off the field. It looks like it's Austin Simmons that's going to come in for a play.
Backup quarterback freshman out of Miami. Hands it off to Parrish. And Parrish brought down by Cameron Ball. Matt, we don't see that often. Tell me about the interpretation of that rule, that timeout.
Ole Miss has called a 30-second timeout.
Well, they stopped the anytime a helmet comes off, they stop the clock. Plus, they got a first down anyway, so the clock was going to stop anyways. Player has to go out for safety purposes. They bring their substitute in. They could have used a timeout to keep him in the game had they wanted to.
Right.
It was not. It was not a 10-second subtraction because they did gain the first down. So. A lot of things going on at once.
They could have called it. So Matt, they could have called a timeout to keep him in the game at the time, bring him back in.
That's correct.
Okay. So 2nd and 7 coming up. Our rules analyst Matt Austin joining us today.
It's interesting because I think if you have Jackson Dart in the game on that first down, if you were to use the timeout on the front end, you probably throw the ball there and the clock doesn't stop. But because you bring in Austin Simmons, you run the ball, then you have to use the timeout anyway.
Yes.
To stop the clock after the run. So
Dart, with one more win, will become the winningest quarterback in school history. Guy that transferred from USC when he hit the portal, and Lincoln Riley said that he was bringing a guy named Caleb Williams to USC with him. And more linen on the field.
Ball start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Dart said that he didn't feel the connection with the USC staff and head coach Lincoln Riley and some of the ensuing conversations. So he decided to transfer and decided on Oxford, Mississippi.
I think it's been a win-win on both sides.
2nd and 12. Goes through his progression. Caught at the 25 and still on his feet. Jordan Watkins is putting some money on tape today, Roddy. What a day.
And if Danico Slaughter finds the ball as he's sprinting back, I think he might have had a shot certainly to knock it down, maybe to intercept that pass. Nice delivery though by Jackson Dart.
From the 20. 20 seconds to go. Dart Gets it off, open, out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Remix, repeat. It's Watkins again.
Did it from the backfield that time. It looked like they had a 2-back set in the backfield, but Jordan Watkins was one of those and runs the running back flag. They don't pick him up, and now Ole Miss inside the 10.
169 yards receiving for Watkins. Wright is lined up as the inside receiver to the left of Dart on 1st and goal. Play clock down to 5. They keep it on the ground. Parrish was met at about the 3 by Larry Worth, the 3rd. It'll be 2nd down and goal. The clock at 10 seconds, and oh boy, Parrish writhing in pain.
Ole Miss has
See
called
that
their
right
third
leg.
and final timeout. It's 30 seconds in length. Please reset the game clock to 11 seconds. 0-1-1. Thank you.
Running back depth for this Ole Miss team already somewhat thin. Matt Jones has missed the last few games. Have not seen him in this game yet. Main concern right now is for the health of Henry Parrish.
For a team that's already struggling in the running game, averaging just 3.4 yards per carry in conference play. Oh wow, yeah, that left leg almost similar to Green getting shaken up a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Taken down, the weight on that leg, rolled over it. It's a scary thing to happen to any ball carrier.
Boy, a real pall of silence here at Reynolds Stadium. Henry Parrish Jr. is going to need some aid to get off the field. I'm not speculating here, but you can clearly see he's not able to put much, if any, weight on that left leg. So for a squad that came into the afternoon with a litany of infirmed players, the list growing here by one more. We haven't seen Prescorn today. We haven't seen Trey Harris today. Two key cogs offensively for the Rebels. Roddy, what's it like when you see one of your teammates go out like that? What's that next play like? What's going through your mind?
It's tough to refocus. It really is, but in such a crucial situation, that snaps it back. And the thing that you've seen now with the transfer portal is depth with a lot of these teams, especially at the top of these conferences, has been eroded. We'll get into that a little bit more in the second half. But for Ole Miss, now you've got 11 seconds with the ball on the 4. You've got time to run a 2nd down and 3rd down play. If they're quick, thing you can't do is get tackled short of the goal line. You've got no timeouts. Can't get tackled short of the goal line in the field of play, and you can't take a sack. But you've got enough time to run 2 plays and then potentially kick a field goal if they're quick.
Dominic Thomas comes in place of Parrish. Dart into the end zone. Touchdown, Watkins. Number 3 on the afternoon. He is giving that secondary all kinds of work today. Jordan Watkins is eating, feasting. 8 plays, 73 yards, capped with another touchdown. The Rebels putting together an exemplary offensive display. And what do we have here? An alley-oop off the glass. Give it a 10. 35-10 for the Rebels.
Jordan Watkins has been unbelievable today. Deep pass down the field against Marquise Robinson. Doesn't find the ball. Touchdown there. You had it one-on-one with a safety. Runs right by him. Catches it for another touchdown. And most recently, they split him out one-on-one once again. Fade ball. Nice back shoulder. Got a cameraman down.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's okay. But Jordan Watkins put him to sleep.
Oh. And he's giving them so much work that they've become employees right now. With 5 seconds to go.
He's issuing 1099s at the end of the year.
Oh, yeah, it looks that way, Roddy. 35-10. And that really speaks to the depth that the Rebels have at the receiver position, that they're missing Harris and Prescorn today. And Watkins has stepped up. Lee has made a few catches. Wright at tight end has had himself a nice day. He's careering with 5 seconds to go. Just when it felt like the Razorbacks, after their previous touchdown, were starting to get a little bit of the momentum back on their side. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Razorbacks trying to become bowl eligible with that 6th victory. And it's proving to be pretty elusive here today.
And the most points this Arkansas defense has given up all year was 39, and the loss to Oklahoma State, remember that one went into overtime. It's got 35 at half.
Wow. Green's going to keep it on the ground and hand it off to Binion. And that's going to do it for the first half of play.
That's the end of the first half.
It's a very ebullient, raucous crowd at the start of the game. Rebels will have the ball 1st down and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Jackson Dart, Roddy, and Jordan Watkins have eviscerated this Arkansas defense.
They have.
It's simple, man.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. Arkansas had a tough time blocking Ole Miss's defensive line, and Jordan Watkins and Jackson Dart have torn through them. Jackson Dart 18 of 23 on the day, 4 touchdowns. Here's the first one to Jordan Watkins. This is shot down the field, one-on-one coverage. They get him against a safety. Again, down the field, one-on-one coverage, touchdown, and back shoulder fade in the end zone. Jordan Watkins, 5 receptions, 172 yards, and a record tying for Ole Miss. 3 touchdowns receiving in a game.
And the meter's still running. That's the scary part. This is Dominique Thomas. Henry Parrish, remember, number 21, the starting tailback at the beginning of the game, was injured late in the 2nd quarter. Still awaiting a status update on his health. 2nd down and 6. Dart on the RPO. Boy, what a throw. Over the linebacker before the DB and all the way down to the 38-yard line to Caden Lee as we check in with Q.
I think the story for Ole Miss today has been their readiness to play in light of this being a potential look-ahead game, a game on the road in Fayetteville where they haven't done well. No Trey Harris, no Nate Caleppo, their left guard. It really has been no problem for them.
And they're still moving and keeping their foot on the gas. This is Thomas with the run. Sorey Jr. making the tackle on the play. Remember, the danger coming into this game was, you know, the trap game factor, the look-ahead factor. Big one next week. Nobody was pretending that it wasn't happening. They've got Georgia coming up next week in Oxford.
And those injuries that Q mentioned, you've had a next man up in every single one of those situations. No Trey Harris. Well, Jordan Watkins has been great. No Caden Prescorn. Daquan Wright has been great.
They'll take the toss to the wide side of the field. pressure on Dart. He ends up on his backside. Gavaye with a stop along with Dix Jr. Let's go back to Q for an update on Parrish.
Yeah, it's a big deal moving forward for the Rebels in their season. Parrish, the 23-year-old transfer from Miami, he has not returned to the sideline area, so we really don't know what his status is, but it's, as of now, it's unlikely that you'll see him this week in this game. Henry Parrish, running back.
A tough break for him. Right sets to the left of Dart. Watkins in motion. Dart steps up into the pocket. He can move a little bit. Dancing between the tackles. On the way! Dart inside the 5 to the 3. Hudson Clark saved a touchdown. A 31-yard scamper.
They talk about man-to-man coverage and quarterback run being an answer to it. When Jackson Dart breaks contain, gets down the field, you've got TJ Metcalf down the field with his back to the quarterback.
Dart gets it out, and a good tackle in the open field by Hudson Clark. They did on Caden Lee. There's a flag down on the field. Let's see what it's all about.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, offense number 11. 15-yard penalty, previous repeat first down.
It's going to go against Jordan Dart. Jordan Watkins.
Yeah, it's like they've been.
Yeah, the combo.
It happens right here. That block has to come in front of the defender. He can't blindside him. He has to have a chance to be able to avoid the block, see it coming. It was legal for him to block him in that situation. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, how would he have had to block them in that situation?
Well, you're right, Roddy. As long as he doesn't take him to the ground, go in with his shoulder, if he goes in hands first or screens him, it's not a problem.
They hand it off to Thomas again. And Thomas is brought down just shy of the 10, picked up 9 on the play. This is the opening drive of the third quarter for the Rebels. Up by 35-10. Looking for their 7th win of the season. Huge win against Georgia coming up next week. And playing without Trey Harris and Caden Prieskorn. Dart over the middle. Touchdown. Another one. The remix. Jordan Watkins. Yeah, it's 4. Count them. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. For Jordan Watkins, who finds a lot of inspiration in his mother's personal story. That is a school record, 4 touchdowns.
Jackson Dart is still on the field chirping at this Arkansas defense. Just now exiting the field of play, but Jordan Watkins, a rewrite the record book type of game.
That's the 5th touchdown pass of the day for Jackson Dart. Left has got 4 touchdown passes today.
I see what's happening now. Jordan Watkins, number 11. Jackson Dart, number 2. 1 + 1 + 2 equals the number of touchdowns that those two guys have.
Right, see, that's what happens when you work with a cat that went to Georgia Tech.
Hashtag math.
Yeah, I mean, them 1,500 SAT dudes, man.
When you party with them, some of it rubs off.
Got a new quarterback in the ballgame, Malachi Singleton, for Arkansas. Remember, he led that last-second rally and subsequent victory against Tennessee, but this a different type of animal and circumstance. DeBinion, with nowhere to go, going to be brought down right at the line of scrimmage by Harris. It'll be 2nd down and 10. I guess that his afternoon is over. Came into this game with so much promise and potential, coming off arguably his best game as a Razorback last week. And then injured that left leg, that left knee, and was never quite the same after that. Not to take away from the Rebel defense. 2nd and 10. Blitz coming. Singleton got it away to Armstrong. First down. Picked up a nice block and run out of bounds right short of midfield. If you're just joining us, this was a major tipping point of the game. Taylon Green injured on that tackle. You saw his left leg get twisted up under himself. It was never quite the same after that. Haas in motion, the toss to the wide side of the field. This is Rodney Hill. Brought down by Chris Paul Jr. It was funny speaking with Chris Paul right there. He used to play at Arkansas. Asked him about the name. It's an obvious one, right? Chris Paul. He told us that some people actually think that the soon-to-be Hall of Fame basketball player is his dad. In a sense it is, but it's a different Chris Paul.
Yeah. Chris Paul is his dad, just not that one.
Yeah. 2nd and 3. Singleton has all day, pulls complete down the middle of the field. He finds his tailback Hill. It'll be first down from the 14. Nice looking delivery by Malachi Singleton.
It was, and even the one before to Andrew Armstrong, he had to move up in the pocket to get away from some pressure and deliver the football. And this one, Rodney Hill, just a little running back seam out of the backfield. Good throw.
Singleton going to keep it himself. A very proficient runner. Touchdown, Arkansas.
This is what we know Malachi Singleton can do. Zone read game, gets in the open space and puts it in the end zone.
Play worthy of a championship belt. And it's 42-17, under 10 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. A nice response though. Saturday afternoon, 9:49 to go. It hasn't worked out well so far for the home team. Rebels going to take it out of the end zone. This is Micah Davis. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 21-yard line. We are pretty much on record watch for the Rebels. In particular, Jackson Dart and Jordan Watkins on the cusp of rewriting the school record book. Look at those incredible numbers by Dart. 20 of 26, 365 yards. And the meter's still running.
And that guy, Jordan Watkins, 6 receptions.
Soon to be 7.
Soon to be 7, I'm sure. 183 yards and 4, count them, 4 touchdowns.
They're going to keep it on the ground. This is Thomas. Remember when we were speaking with Jordan Watkins a little bit earlier, we asked him, who's the fastest receiver or player on the team? He said, me.
Quickly.
Without hesitation. What was it? I think he said it was a 4.3 at some point somewhere. Laser time. And here he is going to try and show the Arkansas secondary. Taken down out of bounds at about the 36 by Jaheim Singletary. In high school, he said he ran a 10.8 or 10.7. Which is moving pretty well.
That was as a sophomore.
Yeah.
He was quick to point out. I mean, the speed has been on full display today. My boy, fast.
9-yard gain, first down and 10. Jackson Dart with all day down the middle of the field, caught at the 30-yard line, and still up Caden Lee. Caden Lee put 2 hands on the football and is brought down to the 5, first and goal. TJ Metcalf saved another touchdown. And up to the line of scrimmage with expedience, Jackson Dart. Handing it off to Thomas. And Thomas going to be stopped up just inside the 5-yard line. 2nd down and goal coming up.
Got to let Jackson Dart throw this thing a couple of times here, don't you? Because he got a couple of Arkansas players down.
Looks like Slaughter on the field. Danico Slaughter, Tennessee transfer, and he's being tended to by the athletic training staff. Good to see him able to get up and walk off. Hey, coming up at 3:30 Eastern on ABC and ESPN Plus, number 2 Georgia and Florida in Jacksonville, and we cap the night with number 10 Texas A&M in Columbia, South Carolina, taking on the Gamecocks.
That Georgia-Florida game, it feels like Georgia should roll. But as our excellent spotter Seth Jacobson pointed out, Florida's offense in conference play has statistically been pretty good.
All right.
Now, this Georgia front is a little bit different than what they have seen throughout most of the conference play, but we'll have to see. Georgia has not looked.
So you think it's going to be competitive?
I don't know. I'm starting to convince myself that maybe Seth is right.
Dominic Thomas in the ball game. 2nd and goal. They fake the jet sweep. Dart keeps it himself and makes it down just a little bit inside the 1. Eric Gregory making the tackle, setting up 3rd down and goal. 7.5 minutes to go in the 3rd.
Looks like the Pegues package is coming in. Could we get a big man touchdown to put a cherry on top of this performance by Ole Miss?
Go with their jumbo package, and Mr. Jumbo, one-man jumbo package, going to line up in the backfield here. There he is, number 89. Takes a direct snap. Almost untouched. Touchdown, Rebels. They call him the Mayor of Oxford. That's his 6th rushing touchdown of the season.
And this was one of the easier ones. The hardest thing about him scoring that touchdown was getting skinny through that hole that developed so that he could get in there.
Pegues with another score. 48-17. Tell you what, the Rebels are treating the Razorbacks like corduroy. They're just wearing them out with 6:59 to go. We're going to take a short break as the reward awaits on the sidelines for the big fella. When we come back, we're going to take a closer look at the big man on campus. Oh, he got there for the oop. Back in a minute. Arkansas 49-17. Rebels up on the Razorbacks with 6:59 to go in the 3rd quarter of play on this, the first Saturday in November. Mark Jones alongside Roddy Jones and Quinn Kesenick down in the field. We were talking about some of the Leviathans, behemoths, the girth of some running backs that are really defensive linemen. Look at that. It starts with me with the fridge, and everyone else is second, buddy.
I think we did this in descending weight down to Ndamukong Suh, but I didn't realize the fridge was tipping 4 bills. I didn't know that he was almost 400 pounds.
Moved very light on his feet, though.
Yes, he did.
Very light on his feet.
Gotta love the big twinkle toes.
They're going to keep it on the ground with DePinion He'll pick up 2, and hey, let us know which of those guys you prefer. Hit ESPN on any social media platform. I'm sure that Pegues will get a few votes out of Oxford, Mississippi. This is what it looked like. Called for the snap, got the snap. Light work for the big fella.
And then he and the offensive lineman getting a little dance together.
No unsportsmanlike conduct, though. That's good. That's good.
Big man love to see big man eat.
Here's Malachi Singleton. Downfield, got a man, but overshot his receiver to Slaw. And it'll be 3rd down and 8. Taylor Green's afternoon pretty much over at this point. Richardson on in relief, and he took a shot from Chris Paul Jr. No flag.
I think it was, the shot was to the chest. You had a little bit of the incidental contact to the head, but in that situation would be a defensive player, but I think a good no call.
And he's swallowed, engulfed, and sacked. Damon Mellon, the 6th sack of the afternoon. And it's a quick 3 and out for the Razorbacks.
Princely Umanmielen just hits the turbo button. He's looking to see whether or not it's going to be something weird. Why am I unblocked? Oh, I can just rush the passer. Let me accelerate and sack him.
Umanmielen is as impressive as they come. Transfer from Florida. I saw some of his high school tape, and he was a running back that gained over hundreds of yards and did the same. Great job on defense as we check in with the studio.
I want to update you on Miami and Duke. About 10 minutes ago, Duke was up 10, and then 11 rather. Xavier Restrepo, touchdown, 28-25. They went for 2, and then moments ago, Miami regains the lead. So the 11-point Duke lead gone in a matter of minutes, 32-28.
All the Hurricanes can detonate at any moment. 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Dominique Thomas in a tailback. And with next week looming large against Georgia at home, at what point does Coach Kiffin take out his number 1s, including his QB number 1, Jackson Dart? Right now, this is Dominique Thomas in for Henry Parrish, who was taken off the field right before the end of the first half. Spence making the tackle.
Well, Mark, you mentioned looming large. Something that's been looming large over this crew is some of the words that you often use. So let's do our word up with the Joneses. Leviathan, which is a sea serpent noted in theology and mythology. My challenge to anybody watching, work that in to your vocabulary this week.
Known for its largesse.
We're going to have to circle back on largesse, it seems like.
It's that 2nd or 3rd definition that gets you sometimes. Here's Jackson Dart from the 30, pulls. Oh man, you talk about room service. Putting money on tape, Jordan Watkins. Well, last time he counted up to 4. Let's see if he counts up to 5. Too tired to do it. Well,
the lineman will do it for him. It's Reese McIntyre in the middle counting them off. That's Jackson Dart's 6th. Jordan Watkins 5th. FIF.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it's been a slam dunk for Jordan Watkins. Jump man, jump man, jump man. With just under 5 minutes to go. Man, this was as easy as it's going to come. He broke free like Young Thug right here. Nobody even close. And Dart with a career high 495 passing yards. How many you got, son?
I mean, he's got 5 touchdowns on 8 receptions. Talk about efficiency, 254 yards. It's just an unbelievable day so far.
Yeah. Hey,
and I would expect it to be over, but I mean, there's a lot more time left.
He set off the smoke detector, and I think that's why he has the extinguisher right there, because it's been a one-man show. It's a dance party It's a party on my sideline for the University of Mississippi. Q, the only thing they need is a DJ over there.
He's got it going on.
Wow.
You remember when Maurice Green ran 100, took off the shoes and did the fire because he was on fire? Jordan Watkins might want to do the same thing with those gloves. Because if this were NBA Jam, like, he's on fire.
He's on fire. You get fined. I remember being in the dorms and setting off a fire extinguisher and getting fined hundreds of dollars. It was like a major violation.
Wow.
So they're jumping around having fun.
They're going to name a street after Jordan Watkins after this game back in Oxford. Let's take a look at our player spotlight, brought to you by Old Spice. And of course, 9 targets, 8 catches, 254 on the board, and 5 TDs.
I don't want to rub it in with Arkansas fans, but there are 20 minutes left in this game if they wanted to run up the score. Everybody's getting a little part. I don't know what that move was.
You got to shake what your mama gave you sometime, Roddy.
Micah Pettis got a lot to shake, and he shook all of it.
1st and 10. Arkansas. Satania with a nice catch and run down to the 44-yard line. 4.5 minutes to go. An incredibly engaging young man. We had a great visit with him earlier this week, Jordan Watkins. Binion again. Stays on his feet. The irrepressible Binion on that run broke through a couple of tackles. Lewis Moore got ran through on the 23-yard gallop.
It's a physical run for Rashad Binion.
Some of these Arkansas players are playing for spots next week, maybe. Binion brought down that time near the line of scrimmage. We didn't see much Braylon Russell in the backfield, and of course Jackson is out.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The top 2 running backs for Arkansas have Jaquindon Jackson never played, and Braylon Russell had a couple carries, but that's it. So it's really been a Binion game, and you know, it's getting into a little bit of a rhythm here.
Downfield on the post. Incomplete. He had Broden and just overshot him by a couple of feet. Broden's a guy that they've been looking at to really make a big contribution and break through a little bit. The transfer from Bowling Green makes it a 3rd down and 11 from the 34. That pass complete to the tight end, Haas. And Haas is going to move the pile a little bit. Call in some backup and move the chains. 1st and 10. And we got some flags on the field.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 2. The penalty is half the distance to goal and includes an automatic 1st down.
It's against Walter Nolan. Well, this season, Allstate will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. 1st and goal. Anthony in motion. They run it to the short side of the field. Nice cut down to the 3 by Hill. Rodney Hill picks up 6. It's 2nd down and goal. Armstrong, the team's leading receiver, subbing out of the game. Rodney Hill in the backfield. Monty Harrison split out top. Singleton hands it off. Hill put his hat down and got into the end zone. A determined Rodney Hill. with a 2-yard sprint. That's his second rushing touchdown of the season and his 4th of his career. Oh, he's ready to swag surf.
Swag surf?
Yeah.
Okay. Say Arkansas's play has been only slightly better than that guy's swag surf.
Yeah. That 6th win is going to be daunting. They've got Texas, Louisiana Tech, and then on the road at Missouri. Coach looking for Arkansas's 4th bowl appearance in the last 5 years with that 6th victory. Right now down by 32 points with 2:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. Well, coming up at 3:30 Eastern on ABC and ESPN Plus, number 2 Georgia and Florida and Jacksonville, and we cap the night with number 10 Texas A&M taking on South Carolina. You know, I've been doing this for 34 years. I would have loved to at some point either do that Georgia-Florida game in Jacksonville, because it's in my home state.
Yeah.
Or at least watch it on TV as a fan. Have never been able to catch it. Wow. Got a game to do.
Yeah, no kidding. As we often we do. This is the last time for a couple of years it's going to be held in Jacksonville. Yeah. Doing renovations to the stadium, moving it to, I believe, Tampa one year and Atlanta the other, if I'm not mistaken.
They have a good time at that. Micah Davis on the kickoff return. Slowed down and then stopped up at the 30-yard line. Time now for the Aflac trivia question. Aflac. Why do Florida and Georgia disagree on the number of wins the Bulldogs have in the series?
I'm going to guess because it's a rivalry in the SEC and very few of them actually agree on everything.
Wins, you would think wins and losses should be an easy one.
I don't know. Sometimes, you know, some teams count the wins during World War II, some didn't. Some look at vacated wins as, you know, a chalk in their tally.
Dart still in the ball game. He hands it off to Thomas. As we approach 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
I'm gonna go with, for our Aflac trivia question, that there's something having to do with the way things were counted during the war.
In the 40s?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go.
All right. Number 2, not 1, right?
Yes. World War II. Yeah.
Right. I don't want you circling back and claiming that you meant the other one. You know?
I was gonna leave it open-ended so that I could claim.
Had to close that loophole.
Claim it. You saw through my tactics.
Yes. Dart, meanwhile, has connected on 11 of his last 12 passes.
He's 24 of 30 on the day. It's the day that he has put together. It's one for the record books. Literally, he's already got 6 touchdown passes, which ties Eli Manning.
And here he goes for another one. Trying to eat again. This one incomplete, but there's a flag down at the 4-yard line intended for Wells, being covered by Worth.
Pass interference, defense number 30. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, includes an automatic first down.
Well, it's going to go against the Razorbacks, and there it is.
The ball's already in the air when Worth gets there, preventing him from getting to the ball. Can't cut off that receiver's path.
From the 37, Jackson Dart still in the ball game with 1:07 to go in the 3rd. Dart, Jackson got there for the first time today. Landon Jackson, their best edge rusher, with his first sack. Okay, now let's, with the drama just killing us, consuming us, let's answer the Aflac trivia question. Aflac. Which is, The school did not formally become University of Florida until 1905, and it did not officially establish its football team until 1906. So there's the caveat why they disagree on the numbers.
Wow. So it wasn't the war.
You're thinking you were on the right track.
I knew it had to happen sometime when newspapers were the only way you found out what the score of the game was.
Yeah. Newspaper, what's that?
Yeah, exactly.
3rd and 18. As time winds down here in the 3rd quarter. 15 minutes to play.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
And Jackson
Timeout.
Dart has shown incredible sovereignty over that Rebel offense with 507 yards passing. Back after this.
Tusk doesn't eat slop.
Oh,
The
some
grapes.
grapes.
The grapes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tusk is fed only the best.
He's a little bougie. That's right. I forgot. 1 quarter to play. 15 minutes to go. Dart already over 500 yards passing. Great pursuit by Jackson from the backside, and Ball brought him down on the tackle. Folks, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Roddy, let me ask you, this is the first Saturday in November. What's the mentality shift like for these teams coming down the stretch?
Well, because they're operating one game at a time, I don't think there is a big mentality shift, but it does raise the magnitude of these games. You start to feel the pressures of the moment.
And Lane Kiffin with some fire drill change here.
Well, Arkansas
5 on the
take time
clock.
with the substitution.
Play clock is down to 2.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
I mean, it doesn't matter because of the score, but I don't know why you wouldn't decline that penalty. Make them punt it from the 45 instead of the 50.
A lot of motion, but not much action going on. So they move it back to midfield. This is just the 2nd punt of the day for Frazier Mazin. The Australian native, nose of the football down, end over end punt. Fielded by Satania at the 15. It'll be 1st down and 10 from there after the 34-yard punt. Coming up next, Texas Tech in the Big 12 and Iowa State also in the Big 12, number 11 nationally. A little inventory time here. Quick reminder with the shifting landscape in college football. This is what the Big 12 looks like this Saturday. Singleton going to be sacked back at the 11-yard line by Cam Franklin. As the sacks continue to mount, there's another look at it. Boy, the Big 12 race has 16 members and BYU leading the pack right now. How surprised are you? Texas Tech is a player as well?
I think BYU is a pretty significant surprise. They were better than their record a year ago, but had a tough time in conference. Iowa State rebounding. Colorado still in the running. Kansas State's the only one we expected to be in the race that is.
Singleton completes it to Broden. Yeah, been very impressed with their quarterback Avery Johnson, who we saw a few weeks ago. Kansas State at 4-1 in conference play, 7-1 overall. Iowa State and BYU both undefeated at 4-0 and 5-0, and Colorado on the menu coming up, looming at 4-1. One of the great stories in college football this year. One of the great turnarounds by Coach Deion Sanders. This is Singleton still on his feet. And the ball came out on the tackle. Still loose. The Rebels fall on it at their own 17-yard line. Well, they reviewed this play a moment ago. Malachi Singleton was shown to be down right there before the ball came loose. Thus, it was ruled no fumble. 1st and 10, Arkansas football. The call on the field was reversed.
Still an incredibly impressive play by Centarian Perkins.
Yeah, he walked Singleton down from a long way. Singleton finds his man down the seam. Tesla. And it's punched loose. Looked like it went through the back of the end zone. Or did it? Or did it go out of bounds? Another punch out.
And it's a big question on whether or not it goes into the end zone before going out of bounds, or whether or not it goes out of bounds in the field of play.
That ball came shooting out of there.
A fumble that went out of the end zone by rule. Touchback for the defense. 1st down, Ole Miss.
There it is. From our vantage point, what a punch there.
What a great
by
punch.
Saunders, John Saunders Jr. From our angle, we couldn't tell out whether it went out of bounds in the end zone or in the field of play. Here's our pylon cam.
I mean, it looks there like it's bouncing and going across the goal line before going out of bounds.
Yes,
It goes, told that it went over the pylon. Certainly a touchback. If it goes out of bounds a foot sooner, then Arkansas retains the ball. But
let me ask you this, partner. Why is Jackson Dart still in the football game?
that's a great question. To hand the ball off, I'm assuming. You don't want him putting him in danger at all.
Hands it off to Dominic Thomas. I understand wanting to stay aggressive. But you're leading by 32 points. 2nd down coming up.
Imagine there would have been a conversation saying, hey, keep yourself out of harm's way if we do decide to throw the ball.
2nd and 1. And they can afford to be very pedestrian here and take their time running some clock. Let's quickly go down to Q.
You know, sometimes we see quarterbacks stay in games late because they're trying to preserve the red shirt of the backup quarterback. That's not the case here. Austin Simmons, the Miami, Florida freshman redshirt quarterback, he's already played in 5 games this year. So he's burned this season, according to my stats, the lefty. So this is a big surprise.
Yeah, and he's played in this game. He took a snap earlier when Jackson Dart's helmet came off. So I'm kind of with you, Q. You just, this game's well in hand. They're obviously shortening the game, the amount of time they're taking off the clock.
Yeah, running the play clock all the way down to 7. Dart going to run it with it. This is where you don't want to see him do too much run, because you risk a little bit of injury taking contact. Robinson making the tackle on the 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4 coming.
Yeah, I think that when you see him take off like that, the hope is that he gets down before he takes any sort of contact from the opposing team. But that's not really who Jackson Dart is, though.
No.
He is a guy that loves to have his nose in there, shows his toughness. But I am surprised he's still in the game.
On 2nd and 4, Bentley sprints through the left side of that offensive front, picks up the 1st down, moves the chains with 10:20 to play. Saw a shot of Austin Simmons there on the sidelines, a freshman from Miami, Pahokee, which is right around the, actually high school around the Central Florida area. Got that black mud up there, Roddy.
He's put on some good play.
Yeah, sure have through the years. Pass complete up to the 48-yard line to Caden Lee. And looks like he's going to come into the ball game now. You know, they have the sugar burns up there where they burn the cane fields in Central Florida, where he's from, and the rabbits come running out. And
that's when they chase the rabbits.
Yeah.
I've heard that story.
Yeah.
All them fast guys come out of Central Florida. See, 6 touchdowns. I mean, that's not only is it impressive, but he deserves to be in that company with Eli Manning, with Matt Corral at the top of that, top of the record books.
Bentley on the run picks up the 1st down, and think about the first drive, right? How irate he was on the bench with the tablet in his hand and a procession, a litany of profanity coming out of his mouth. You could read his lips and tell he was unhappy with a lot of different things. We don't know specifically what, but he said it with his chest. He expressed himself, and from that point on, things really took a turn for the better for the Rebels.
This is really the Ole Miss offense that we expected to see all year long.
Simmons going to pass, a good-looking pass, and ball to Juice Wells, who tried to tiptoe down the sideline, stepped out of bounds at the 27. So Simmons completes his first pass of the day right there. Comes in 10 of 21. 48%. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Good-looking player when he steps off the bus. 6'4", 215. ESPN 24 class. He actually reclassified.
I've been the one NBA.
Lefty slings it complete again. This one to Micah Davis, and looks like they're going to pick up another first down. The Rebels beat out Tennessee, Auburn, and Florida for Simmons' service. Picked up 13 yards on that one.
Throws a pretty ball. The question that Lane Kiffin's going to have to answer in the offseason is what does the transition look like after the Jackson Dart era? And is Austin Simmons the answer?
So he's going to get a decent look here with about 7.5 to go. Simmons hands it off to his tailback, Bentley, the 4th. 2-yard gain on the play by Bentley. Ulysses Bentley right there out of Houston, Texas. The SMU transfer. Had a career-high 227 yards rushing at North Texas back in 2020. 2nd down and 8 coming up. Thomas back in the game in the backfield. Wells in motion. They fake the toss into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown Wright with the right stuff again. They've hit 62 with 6:47 to go. And that looks like Excedrin headache number 24 right there.
It's a nice throw by Austin Simmons. Daquan Wright, who was the story of the game until Jordan Watkins took over, finally gets his.
Yeah, how about that?
Daquan Wright had 7 catches on like the first 2 drives, and then Jordan Watkins decided to steal the show. It's a good drive from Austin Simmons.
Sure was. Pretty impressive. Wright, meanwhile, 9 catches, 99 yards. With 6:47 to go. (63 to 24). A lot of schools have items like that on campus.
Yeah.
What did they have at Georgia Tech?
I have no clue.
You never went there, so
no idea. I wasn't trying to get cuffed up.
You were at practice, huh?
Right, exactly. Stayed focused on my studies and my ball.
Hey, man, I got it. I got it. I know you had some Riz, though, Roddy. I know you had some Riz.
Not as much as you, partner, but, you know, did all right.
Hey, some of us don't need the stone. You know what I mean? We got a time onto the field, 6:47 to go. Back to the action here at Reynolds Stadium in Fayetteville. Singleton looking a pass, and Swarm sacked back at the 16 by Eccles. Record days for both Jordan Watkins and Jackson Dart.
Jordan Watkins, second player in SEC history to have 250 plus and 5 receiving touchdowns. The other, Devontae Smith.
He could ball some.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Singleton on the out pattern, complete to Armstrong. It's going to be about 6 yards shy of the first down after the sack. A little over 6 minutes to go.
Big question now after a performance like this for Ole Miss is, has this offense awakened in the way that we thought it would? And I think the answer is still it's incomplete. You know, they didn't have to run the ball, and the question sort of been, can they run the ball consistently? And they'll get a big test next week against Georgia.
Armstrong with the catch and run. Got to secure that football. We've seen the Rebels be very purposeful about punching that ball out. An 11-yard gain on that play by Andrew Armstrong. Under 5.5 minutes to go. Singleton keeps it. Nice run, still on his feet. Singleton pulling away. Malachi with some magic. Hit the pylon. Touchdown. Looks like we have a flag down on the play, behind the play, at about the 40-yard line.
Illegal formation, offense with 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Those penalties
come off the board
are the absolute worst. Because one of these guys up here has to be on the line of scrimmage, and it looks like all of them are off. So you got 1, 2, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in the backfield. And it takes off. It has nothing to do with the play.
Right.
It's just an alignment error.
We'll have to regroup and come back. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, your interpretation there, your look?
Yeah, I think the question was the second guy from the top. They were putting him in the backfield. Listen, the standard is normally a stagger. If you can tell a stagger between a guy who's on the line and you, or another guy in the backfield, then you put him where he wants to be. So I don't like that call.
Interesting.
Arkansas fans don't like it either, Matt.
Yeah, the ones that are left. Reynolds Stadium relatively empty. 24-yard pickup by Armstrong there. Arkansas next week will have a bye, then take on Texas. And a little education and miscommunication right there. Quarterback and wide receiver on different frequencies. It'll be 2nd down and 10 on that incompletion.
I got a couple questions. Number one, where's your shirt? Number two, where'd you get the apple? That guy's got an apple too. Passing out apple? Oh, okay, we're passing out apples.
What's the? Is there a tradition here with apples that we don't know about?
He's got 2 apples.
Oh boy, Singleton looked right. Nobody was home, so he does it himself and picks up the first down. His tailback came up the left. He was looking right, and he picked up 14, just the way they drew it up, Roddy.
Yeah. The confusion in the backfield. All right, I'll just run through the hole, and then Malachi Singleton has some juice.
Yes.
When he's in the open field. I think we've seen that definitively over the course of this game, and honestly the time that he's had.
30-second timeout called by Ole Miss. It's their first of the half.
Rebels calling a timeout. Hey, Tuesday, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the first college football playoff top 25 rankings of the season. Reese and the guys will breaking it down from top to bottom. Have coaches' reactions as well as a live interview with committee chairman Ward Manuel, the Michigan athletic director. They'll also project the 12-team field. We saw Roddy's projected 12-team field a little bit earlier. That's coming all up at 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Going to be some fascinating things revealed about how the committee value strength of schedule with the rankings of the SEC teams? And what do they think of the strength of schedule of, let's say, a BYU and an Iowa State? What do they think of Clemson's journey, whose only loss right now, as it stands, is to Georgia? And where does Texas A&M fall? What about that loss that Notre Dame had to Northern Illinois? Where do they fall? It's going to be fascinating.
That's this Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Singleton overshoots his receiver, Armstrong. We have a flag on the play.
Pass interference, defense number 32. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul and include an automatic first down.
So 3:53 to go. Ball comes loose. Scooped up by the Razorbacks. They got an auspicious bounce, and Braylon Russell.
Still in the field is the fumble recovered by the
Binion got
offense.
it.
Second down.
Pardon me.
It's about the only bounce that hasn't gone Ole Miss's way today.
But good pickup on the blitz by Binion. Then he proved to be the one to recover the fumble, too.
It was, and importantly for Arkansas, they jump on it, but the movement of the arm was going forward, but it looked like he was at the end and trying to tuck it when that ball came out.
Into the end zone. Caught. What a grab by Haas. Luke Haas with his 4th touchdown catch of the season.
This tight end group has proved to be really good over the course of the season, and Haas, a couple catches for touchdowns last week, and one more here today.
Coach peeling down to his dry fit tee. Didn't think it was that warm down there, but
You can do that when
his
you're
team to go through run through the tape, I guess.
when you're up.
One more look at that pristine pass by Malachi Singleton.
It's really good placement between the two safeties who end up hitting each other, and a great hands catch by Luke Haas. Understated celebration, understandably, just a little chest bump.
Still down by 32. And I'm just curious if you're an Arkansas supporter, what's it going to look like moving forward with Taylon Green and his relative health and fitness with that leg injury?
Good news is you've got the open date next week,
Yeah.
so he can get healthy. Jaquindon Jackson can get healthy, and they're somewhat optimistic that he could possibly be back for the Texas game, although you won't know probably for a little bit, but some optimism there.
Don't forget, after we're finished here, Texas Tech taking on number 11 Iowa State in Big 12 action. Roddy, let me ask you and get your thoughts about this University of Mississippi Georgia game. What's that look like next week?
It's going to be a heavyweight battle. The question is going to be, if you're the Rebels, can you continue to create the big plays that you created today in the pass game? And if not, can you run the football against a Georgia front that absolutely flummoxed Texas offensively the last time we saw them?
Yeah.
I mean, they were phenomenal in Austin. So those are still questions that I think need to be answered about Ole Miss. Can they run the ball against the elite teams? They didn't need it today.
That's a great point you bring up. An intriguing matchup. Gain of about 3 on the play. Q?
Well, it's an afternoon game next week. I think the injury concerns for Ole Miss will continue. Henry Parrish played only in the first half. In the second half, their running back appeared on the sideline on crutches. We never saw Caden Prescorn, although he warmed up today, their tight end. And Trey Harris did not warm up showed up in uniform, but he has not played, and right now he is in sweatpants. So I could see Harris and Prieskorn returning to the lineup next week.
All right, Q. 2nd and 7. Albritton, the new running back for the Rebels, stopped up after a short gain. 3rd and 7 coming up. And this one is pretty much cooked, glazed, and ready to be sliced. Coming up to the 2-minute timeout.
Is that another pork joke?
Yeah. Hey, I wasn't looking at Tusk.
2-minute time
For the Rebels. Final 2 minutes of this ball game. Austin Simmons in at quarterback. Time now for the final 2 minutes, presented by Allstate. Simmons overshoots his receiver, and more linen on the field intended for Micah Davis.
pass interference, defense number 17. The 15-yard penalty includes an automatic first down.
It's going to go against Clark. Been a long afternoon and a lonely afternoon for some Razorback fans.
My guy, you can move closer. Maybe he's throwing a Taco Bell out, trying to vote for the Live Moss student section, holding it down for the student section.
Might want to go hang out at Spoofer Stone a little bit.
Find him a match.
Yep. Find a little company and hang out. On the handoff. Nowhere to go for Albritton. 1:45 to play, and Rebels will improve to 7-2 on the season.
We were talking to some people from the Rebel contingent, and they were talking about what next week would mean if they won this game. There's going to be a narrative out there that this is the biggest game maybe in the history of Oxford, Mississippi.
Wow.
Because of what it means for the college football playoff hopes. Certainly if Georgia wins, you're going to get one of the top teams in the country. And just all the stakes involved could be massive.
And as we pointed out a little moment ago, Trey Harris has another week to get healthy. Didn't play today. Prieskorn as well has a chance to get better. Dart today was 25 of 31, 515 yards through the air, a school record. Young man from Kaysville, Utah. Jordan Watkins had 254 yards receiving. School record. A wire-to-wire job for Lane Kiffin's crew. You think back about their 2 losses this year, both of them by 3 points. One to LSU, one to Kentucky. But I said at the top of the afternoon, they remember November. And a propitious